Yeah, hello and welcome back. And I'm excited to announce about the Flutter Developer Bootcamp. And if you want to learn a real Flutter app development and get your dream job as a Flutter developer, join my professional Flutter app development bootcamp course, and you will get all the required skills to become a professional Flutter developer. And I will be teaching you everything regarding the Flutter app development, and we'll be developing a real production level Flutter app over here, and we'll be covering all of the topics regarding a Flutter development. There will be a total 8 modules covered in this course, and you can find the link below in the description. Just go and click on it and find all the relative information regarding this course. And I hope to see you guys in this course. So stay tuned and have a great day. Yeah, hi there, and welcome to the new lecture over here. And today we are going to learn about the Flutter Translation Sheet. This is a Flutter plugin to help us to translate our Flutter application. So it's really helpful plugin which will help us to do the translation, and it will help us to do the auto translation, which will it will use of the Google Translation. And if your native language is supported by this Google Translation, then it will do a auto translation. However, there are some limitation, and based on the Google Translation, like it doesn't support much of the translation languages, and you should go and check the Google Translation or Google supported for language support for the translation. So you should get the idea whether your native language is supported by the Google Translation, so it will automatically do the translation for you. So what we will do is we'll install this plugin for our Flutter application. So we need to create a Flutter application first of all. So let's go back over here, and I will go to my directory, and let me go and create a okay, I will be using this particular folder, and let me open a terminal over here, and let me create a one let's create a Flutter application, a clean Flutter application, and I will just give a name for this Flutter, let's say a translation or demo app or something. And I'll also give the organization. It's not required, but I would love it to give my own domain over here. So dev dot, I'll say our day one, right? And that should be good enough. So let's create a clean Flutter application, and then we'll be adding this particular dependency. So now we have this. I can just go inside this particular directory and just copy this, and I'll just navigate it to here, and I'll just say your code, and I will do open in the Visual Studio Code. So now we have opened our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let me just arrange it, guys. Just hold on. So now we have that, and what we will do is we'll just go back to this particular translation sheet, and we'll go for the installation. And we have to, okay, so this is the dependency. So you can just run this command, right? So that should not be a problem, but I'll just copy it. So if you are not all familiar with the command line, then that should be pretty good to install it. So let me go and close everything, and I'll go to the pubspec.yml file, and let me install it in the dependency. So let's go and just paste it there over there, and I can also open the terminal over here and just run some command flutter pubget. That should help us to get it. Or else if you have this particular button to download it, you can just click on it and it will download for you. So we got that, and if that's the plugin is installed already. And the next thing is that, okay, so I need to, let's go back over here, and let's go to the readme file over here. So it's just a command line application to make your L10N super fast. And don't worry about this, is a translation basically, and compose your string in a YML or the JSON format to use a Google Sheet for the auto translate, right? So it will help us to do the auto translation using a Google Translation, but you can also manually do the translation. So what we will be doing is we need to run this command. So just copy this command, installation, and you can open your favorite terminal and just go and paste that particular over there. So just paste the command and hit enter, and that should go and do all of the installation for us. I have actually already installed it, and that is why. So the activated Flutter translation sheet. So actually I have already installed and do the configuration, so there is no problem for me. But if you may get some error, try to see if you are getting any error. And once you have installed it, then the next thing is to check whether the command is running successfully. So you have different commands, which is fts fetch, like run, fts extract, upgrade, and the version. So why not we try some of the command for us. So let's say if you have installed it, and I can just say fts and that's the svrs version. So now I can see that it's actually giving me an error. So this command is not found, right? So why is that? Okay, so fts, it should be fts, right? So not fls. So fts dash svr version. And yeah, so I get the version code, and it is asking me whether you want to upgrade it. So I would say no, because it's the latest version. I know it, because 18.39 is the latest version that we have, right? Where is that? Yeah, 18.39. So we got our fts installed already. That's great. So make sure you have run that command. And the next thing that we can also do is to go inside our directory, and I need to hide all of my documents, and I can go and search for this particular file in the Mac, and in Windows it may be a different. So it's in Windows, it should be in your environment variable. So you can just go and open up the environment variable, and you should be able to add this particular file line of code. So in the Mac OS we have to export it, right? And in Windows you don't have to use export, you just have to add the path. And I have added these two path over here, so just for the Flutter translation sheet, because it was giving me some error previously when I installed. So I had to manually put the path for the Flutter and the catch pin, and also for this particular the home pub catch pin. So you should actually add if you are getting an error, and try to see if this will help you to fix your particular error. The font is quite small, but I hope you can actually go and see it. And if you need this command, just let me know. I will try to paste it somewhere, right? So let me just close it, all of those, and we have installed it. And the next is that we have to do the configuration. So what we will do is we will actually need Google credential, which has to provide a Google developer or your service account credential over here. So let's go. I think I will go to the wiki page, and it is telling us to first we have to create a Google credential to connect with the FTS with your Google Sheet, and the second is to install your FTS. So this one we have already completed. We have already run this command, and also we are able to run this command. That's great. So this should be good to go. And the next thing is that to do the configuration guide. So let us leave it this for now, and later we'll come back over here and do go to the Google account and create our own credential over there. So let's go to the configuration guide first of all. And now if I go to the configuration guide, then great, you have installed FTS, everything is good. So the next thing is that to open your terminal, and open your terminal in the project root. So you need to open the terminal in the project directory, the root folder, and run this command. Let's go back to our over here, and we should run inside this particular root directory. So I'm inside the root directory over here, and I'll just say fts run, right? So that should generate a configuration file. It's I hope you guys can see that it's saying that the trconfig file is not found, right? So we need to generate it. I'll just say why, and it will generate us the file for us. So you can see now it has generated all the configuration file that we have, so that's good. And also if you go to the lib, and you should see a strings folder over here. So this is a directory, and also has added the home.yml file, and also the sample, right, sample.yml file. So both of the installation I think is done, and this is the first step that you can go through. Actually it has a lot of good, very good documentation. You can see a step-by-step guide over here. So we have followed step 1 and step 2, and we have verified that all of this file has been added for us. And the next step is to go to this particular CLI is telling us that we need to fill in some information inside our trconfig.yml file. So we need to fill some information over here. So Google Sheet, right? So this is the Google Sheet, and this is the one that we need to fill in. We need to fill in the sheet, the spreadsheet ID, the credential path, and also, okay, I think that should be fine. So we just need to get it, all of this. So let's go back over here, and okay, so these are the fields that need to be configured. So we need to get the credential.json file and put it inside the credential path. So we need to download that and put it over here. So how do we go and get it, right? So let's go back and go to the Google credential link, and there is a step-by-step guide, and it's really helpful, and I hope you will understand it, because it's really they have already provided all of the documentation. So we need to go to the Google Developer Console first of all, and if you don't have an account, make sure you create one account in the Google Dev console.google.com, right? So console.developer.google.com. Make sure you have an account over there, and I already have an account, right? So then the things that we need to enable is the services for the translation and also for the Google Sheet. So now once you go over here, and you are over there, and click the project selector, and if you have a multiple, and you will see that you will see all of your project is over here, right? And let us select or create a new project. That's fine. So I'll just create a new project, and because this is a new one, so I'll just go and select and create a new project over here. So let's say Flutter, and I'll just say as a translation demo, right? And then I'll just create this. Okay, so the name has invalid character, so I think I'm not able to use that. I should not use that, or underscore, it should be dash. Okay, so I think that it cannot be changed, or it cannot be changed later. Okay, that should be fine. So I guess I cannot use it underscore over there, so I must use it a dash. So now we have it, and I'll just select that particular I need to select. So it will take a bit time. I think that should be fine. And yeah, I got that. It's created over here. Okay, it should load it. Okay, so now we have make sure that you are in the correct project. So you need to select the correct project and enable all of these services. So let's go, and we are over here, and select your project. So make sure you select the correct project that you want to enable the service. Otherwise you may be or if you don't have, you can create a new one, and they have given us steps to create. And the next thing is that we need to enable the API and the services. So there are few services that we need to enable. One is of the drive, which is a Google Drive, right? So now let's enable the Google Drive and the Google Sheet API. So they have to enable Google Drive and the just enable it, and then the Google Sheet that we have to enable it. So let's go to our project over here and click on the enable service, and I will search for the drive and just search for this, and I've just enabled for the Google Drive API for my project, and just enable this one. And now let's wait for it to enable it. So once that is enabling, let me go back and search for the another one, which is the Sheet, right? So Google Sheet and then I'll just enable it. Okay, so once that is enabling, then we should go to the step 11 over here, and then you can just click on this navigation bar and go to the API and the service, right? And then it says that API and service, click the credential, and then we have to create a credential over here, and in the credential we have to select the service account, and then we have to fill in the information. So let's go, and it's already enabled for us. So let's go to over here, and so if you want to check whether you enable that particular service, I can just drive and you can see whether that service is already enabled or not. So Google Drive, it is already enabled for us, so you can check it. API is enabled. So let's go back over here and go to the we need to go to the services, right? API and service, and then we can go to the credential, right? So I will go to the credential, and then we need to create a credential. So just select the create credential over here, and then we need a service account. So just select the service account, and then you can give a service account display name for your service account. I will just say Flutter dash translation, and that should be fine. Service account, and I think we don't need it to I think we don't need to describe what the service will do for you, and I'll just say, actually it's not needed, but I can just add it. Translate the app, right? And then create and continue, and then you can also add a role based on the actually required. So I think that is not required. They didn't mention that you need to have a specific role over here. You can see that no need to do anything, just click continue, so that it doesn't require any permission or the role to use that particular translation plugin. So some of the plugin like will require you to have a specific role from here, but that doesn't require over here. So just click on continue, and also it says that grant user access to the service account. This is optional, then I'll just click on done for it. So once that is done, let's go, and we are over there, and we are over done. Now we are on the step 18. So you will see that now the new item under the service account section, and you can click on the edit service account over here, and then we can add the keys, right? So we need to add the API keys. So you can go to keys, and then you can add a new key, right? So create a new key, and then select the JSON, and then we will create a new JSON file, and it will download as the particular JSON file. So we need to get that JSON file. So let's go over here, and I think I'll just go and select this, right? This is my project, and I'll just edit it, and I'll go to the keys over here. Currently I don't have any keys, right? So if you have already generated, it will be shown over here. So let me add a new key over here, and as usual, just select the JSON, and then just create this one. Okay, so now that particular file has been generated for us, it's time to go back and let's see. Okay, so that's the thing. So we have this file we have downloaded over here, the Flutter translation, or the whatever name that you have given. We have to rename it to the credential.json. We have to rename this to the credential.json and then put inside your global folder of your computer, or you can reuse it later, or if you just want to for this specific application or the Flutter application, you can just put it inside the root directory. So you can just put it inside the root directory, or you can put somewhere in the shared folder or somewhere and add the path over here. So we have downloaded that particular file. This is the file that we just downloaded, right? And what we'll do is we'll just copy this file and try to paste it inside here. So just try to, okay, so I cannot paste it, so I have to drag it, I guess. So just drag it inside here. Okay, so make sure it is inside the root of your project, right? Not inside any of the folder. If you want to put it inside any of other folder, that should be perfectly fine, but you have to make sure that you put the correct path over here. So what we will do is let me go back to over here, and I just copy this, and I will just try to rename this file. So this is the one, and just rename it, and then I'll just paste it over here. So I guess I have to remove this. Okay, so now I have put inside, this is the file that I have, and then what I need to do is I need to go to this configuration, and I have to paste it over here, right? So I'll just paste it over here. So this is the file path that I actually need. Okay, that's great. So now we have put our file over here, and is it correct? So let me go and look at the configuration. So let's go to the credential path. This is the one they are mentioning, so we need to put it as, okay, so looks like that is correct over there. So if I go back, it's look like correct. So I guess I just have to add in the intent over here, so somewhere here. Okay, so that's look good. So now we need to get the spreadsheet and the worksheet ID, right? So let's go back over to the documentation, and in this documentation we'll see now it's time to create an OpenSheet and create a new file, and then at the bottom of the right corner there is this particular, then edit it and give the spreadsheet name, and then copy the URL, and that we need to get the spreadsheet ID. So let's open a Google Sheet. So let's go and create a new let me create a new blank spreadsheet over there. And once we create it, then you have to give it, like, let's say value ttr flutter underscore nsl translation, or any name that you want to give it, it doesn't matter. Just the name is for the remembering, or it's good for you to know that which file it belongs for which. So we have to take a note about the sheet. If you have changed the sheet name, then that should be a different one. So if you see its default is the sheet 1, so this is the sheet 1. If you have changed this one, you have to change this one too. So this one and this one is linked over there, and we need to get the spreadsheet ID. So spreadsheet ID, I guess, is this one. Right, so just before the edit, so slash, just before the slash, I think from d slash, and I guess this is the one that we need. So this is should be the spreadsheet ID, and now let's go back and put it in the spreadsheet ID, right? So just paste it over here. Okay, that's look fine. And once we have that, I guess let's go back to the documentation, and then what it has mentioned is that we need to get the spreadsheet ID, and then here, right? So this is the one that it is mentioned. Documentation is really good, so they have mentioned it very clearly that what you need to get it. So this is the one that you need it, so we just copy it already, and we have already pasted it. So unless you rename the default tab, right, so I just mentioned that if you rename the tab name from the sheet 1 to the different one, you need to get that one. So for us it's the same, so it's look something like this, right? So that's fine. And now let us run this particular command. So fts run again, and then you should get some error, right? So it's saying that then we need to share that particular file. So let's go back and run the command again. So fts run, it's mentioned, so fts and the run, and once you run it, it will generate some configuration, but you will see that it will give you an error. So error is said that the G Sheet, we get an exception over here that color doesn't have the permission. So this related to the permission, because when we created that G Sheet or the Google Sheet, we didn't given to any permission to any people to use it, right? So it's just for us. So if you want that to be used by your application, you have to provide the permission, right? So I can just copy this. Where is that account? So I need to get the account. So here, this is the one. So add. So 1 2 3, the third line you have add, and I need to add this account and share with the people. And I'll just copy this, and I need to copy the account that we need to share. And I guess do we need to have a specific permission? Did they mention like now you have that, and I can go and share it, and I need to send it? So it doesn't make, okay, so we need to provide an editor, because they need to edit the file, so the permission is the editor. So let's go back and share this file, and then just paste that at the ID that we just copied, right? Okay, so we got that, and this is the service account that we just created inside our here. This is the account that we have to share this. Let's go back and just make sure you select the editor. Don't mention it as a viewer, because it will be not able to edit this file. So the permission should be editor, and just send it. Okay, I guess that we have already done that one. So let's go back over here, and we should be able to run that particular command again. So fts run, and let's wait for it. Yeah, okay, so now you can see that the translation is coming over here. That's great, right? So you can see everything is done and you don't get any error. That's really great, and it has created a file for us. You have a key, you have English translation. I think this ES is, I think, Spain, or yeah, Spanish, I think, and we have a Japanese translation. So you may be wondering from where this column is created, or how did it created the English and the Spanish and the Japanese language. If you go back over here, and you should see there is a local, right? So you can add the EN and ESJA for Japan. So you need to add the country code over here. So if you want to see that country code, you can just copy this link, and let's go back over here, and I will just paste this link over here, and you should get the link over here. So you will see that it has support for quite a lot of language there. This is the translation API recognition engine support a wide variety of language for the neural machine translation. And you can see these languages are specified within the recognized request using the language code. So the language code is really important, because if you didn't put the correct language code, it will not be able to do the translation for you. So make sure you put the correct language code over here, and it's a lot of it, I think. Yeah, so you can see all of the code over here, and yeah, so you can see there is a lot, and this is for Nepali, So I guess I should put my own country language over there, right? So, and let me try to do the translation. So NE, I guess, right? So was it a NE for Nepali? So yeah, NE. I guess previously it was not there. I'm not sure. But previously, I have tried it to do the translation to Nepali, but I guess it did not work. In. So I will just try to run again, and I have added a new any, right? So you should add your own. If I want to add a th, I can just add the country code as a th over there. Again, run the command and fts run, and then it should do the translation for us. Yeah, okay, so it's great. So now I can see that is the Nepali has been added. Previously I didn't saw that it was added there. We have the Thai translation, Japanese translation, so all of the auto translation is done. And some may be like not the actual or the correct translation over here, right? So you need to do a bit your own translation over there. So let me, I guess, let me zoom it a little bit, I guess. Yeah, you can see. So ghar ko parda, then I don't think that's the correct translation. Gharma swagat cha, I don't think that's that home basically means a ghar, so I guess that's the direct translation they are doing. So yeah, and for the like other language it may be doing the same thing, right? So that direct translation may not be always correct. So we have actually done that one. That's great. And okay, so I think we just completed all of this, and you can read this. So we have some of the other things that we can actually do the translation. And let's take a final look for your this configuration file trconfig, and it's their core configuration setup. So make sure don't mess it up over there. The output of the JSON template file is inside the asset 118n *.json file. So if you go to the lib folder, there is a one folder created for you, which is i18n, right? So inside there is a translation file. So key, right? And then this is a dart file, and this is the export. Okay, so this is a configure to export it. And then other file that you actually may be doing, so it has processed from the content from, so make sure it is processing the content from the string slash the sample and the string that's the home.yml file. That's the same content generated for the first time, right? So the translation actually is being done from here, home screen, our welcome home, and this one, right? So counter, you have pressed the counter dash many times. So if you go and look at translation, you will see that the home, the title is there, and the home the title, because the file is there, right? So the home the title, so the home the title and subtitle and the counter is added over there. Also there has a title in the body, I guess that is from the sample file. Yeah, the title in the body, and you can see that it has added the another or the configuration that you can refer to another file and other folder over here, right? So this is over there, and the content of the file will be unwrapped into the keys. So here you can see the key is home because this is the home key, right? So this is generated from here, and it's getting to referencing to this particular file. So if you are good to go with this, that's great. So but this is the translation that's basically using its own, and it's not using any of the Flutter translation toolkit. So if you want to integrate it with the actual Flutter translation, we have to do a little bit of different configuration. So let us just close all of this, and let me try to go to the configuration file over here. and we will see that this is the just the setup that we have already done, right? And you are already able to understand what we need to put it over here. This is the language translation that we can add, and then the dart file configuration. So this is the output directory, right? Whenever it does some, then it output it's to lib1 i18n, the folder over there, the key, the translation, and the translation key class, and the file name. So actually it's using the class to do the translation, and the translation id that maps it t data. And then yeah, so entry, so this is the entry file. So we can actually go and replace this, the main entry file, to generate the unique translation file. So if you change it to something different, you have to come, because currently it's using this file, right, do for the main configuration. But if you change it the name, then you should always come here and you should change the entry file over here. So string slash, you may do the translation.yml file or any other name, and output of the JSON file as set, and you can see that i18n asterisk.json, so it should be over here. So this is the translation file that has been generated. So here are a lot of files that has been generated for us, right? And what we'll do is let's go and take a documentation. Let us read the documentation. And okay, so here it has mentioned the Flutter translation sheet is like a manager tool for your string translation. That means by itself it is not a library, and that you use it directly in the Flutter, and that fulfills all of your localization need by the middleman, but uh, by a middleman, right? But a middleman that totally simplifies the job of using other Flutter packages. And I think it's really great, these packages, because it's really simple and it's really powerful, because you can there is no, you can see there is no difficult to configure it, right? It's really straightforward. You just have to go through, and they have a really great documentation, and which is really helpful. And if you actually need it to implement in your application, documentation is really helpful. And let's go to see some of the configuration that actually it's using. So it says that it processed the content from this and this file, and that's the simple content generated for the first time. And now you can keep your own YML file, or you reuse the one that we have already provided, right? Change the entry point. So if you want to, as I just mentioned, if you want to change that particular entry point to different one, you have to rename this file to different, like sample to let's say if I rename it to the app.yml file, and then I can go and change it over here. So the entry point would be app.yml file, right? And then if you want to add a new file or something over here, do the translation, and I can just add a new one. So let's say MSG, I'll just give a message and the key and the value, like let's say no, I don't have to provide, so I'll just say welcome to my home, right? So that's just a simple text that I can write it. And I can just go and run a FTS. I guess I should run is FTS run, because I changed the configuration, and FTS run, right? I guess I have to do that, or I can also run FTS update, and FTS update should update the, okay, so it's not able to run that command. So FTS fetch, run, and upgrade, not the update, so it should be upgrade. So upgrade. So it says that would you like to upgrade the latest version? So no, I don't want to upgrade it to the latest version, so I think I cannot use that one. So I will have to make use of the run command. Okay, so now if I go back and if I check that, it should be have added over here. And I also want to test it one more time. So let's see if I add a one. Let's say I'll just say this is a title message, counter message, and let's say you have a error, right? And now if I just say sorry, this is a big error or something, right? So RRY, sorry. And now we have updated this file, and I guess I need to run the fts fetch fetch command, or I'm not sure if it can push it. So I guess it was not able to push it, but if I want to push it, I have to run it to the fth run, and that should be able to push the file. Yeah, so it's able to push that file. So if you want to push the change, you have to use the fts run, and if you want to like change the translation, I think you have to run the fts fetch. So if I go and do this let's say in the English, you can see sorry, this is a big error. And in the yeah, so let's do the go back and change over here. Sorry, this is a big error. And if I update it to the some different over here, let's say I added this is a big error as a message. So if I say I updated it, and if I want to go back, and that I need to get that translation over here, right? So I need to get it over here. So how do I do it is fts and fetch. So that should actually go and fetch the changes. Was it able to fetch it or not? Sorry, this is sorry. Oh, I guess that was not able to fetch that particular translation. So I guess it's not able to get it, and we have, I think I have some error. That is basically I'm getting some error. It's mentioning that I need to run the Flutter PubKit or something. I'm not sure. So let's write FLU to Flutter PubKit. Was it able to get the run it? Okay, so it was get and fts fetch. So I guess it was able to fetch it, but I'm not sure why it is not able to get it from here. Maybe it's a bug or somewhere. I guess you guys can try it. So let's try to you can try to fetch the updated file. So this is the updated file. So if we update it over here, we need to get it back, right, inside our application. So let's go back to our application. So I guess it may be that the string file for the English column is the actual translation file, or which means that this file or this column, English column, is used for the translation for the other file. I guess so, because if you see there is a no translation, and if you click on this, you will see that there is a translation command, right? So I guess that this is the main file or the main column, so we should not update it over here. We should not update it over here because this is the main translation. So if you change something, this is going to get updated over here. So what I will do is I'll just try to change some like file over, or the name over here. So I can just go and just copy the value over here. Just copy this, and I guess I'll just remove this translation from here, and I will paste it my own translation and add some value over here, and I'll just add something over here. And now I should go and run the fetch command. So fts fetch fetch, and let me go to the NE, and yeah, so now I'm able to get that one. So this English column is the main translation file, so we should not update it over here, so we should update it from here because the English is the main language over here. So over here, right, so this is the main, and also this is the main. So these are generated over to the English column or column B. So based on this column are generated. So if you manually change over here, then you should not change this column, English column. You have to change it over here, and it will do the translation, and then you change it manually to this column, and then you will have to run the fetch command, so fts fetch. So that's great. So I hope you guys understood it. Let's go back and let me go to the documentation again. So we have already covered all of the documentation, and the next step is to integrate it with the Flutter Intel package, right? So or do the integration with the GetX. So let's try to do the integration with the Flutter Intel, so the internalization package itself. So let's go and yeah, integration with the Flutter Intel package. So what we will do is we will go to the step 1 over here, and it says that if you are coming from this setup wiki, because we are coming from back from this the wiki page, and delete the following folder and their content to start a clean. So we need to delete the strings, assets, and the lib and the i18n folder. So strings folder, asset folder, and also the lib/i18n folder. So assets, I need to go and delete this because we are not going to use this anymore. And then the next is that I need to delete this file, this folder too. Let's remove this, and also the string, right? And just remove this, or yeah, I guess remove it, everything. Just make it as clean. And then we need to do the installation of our INTL package. You can go to the official documentation from the link here, or you can just copy this particular package. So the Flutter localization and the Flutter internalization plugin over here. So what we will do is we'll just go back, and what we will do is we will go to the pubspec file and add the dependency. Just paste it over here, and just click on the download button. And also we need to get this add over here, the generate to true. Just copy this, and let's go back, and I need to go to the Flutter section, and over here just below this one I will add that generate to true. And also I need to create this folder, sorry, not the folder, this file, l10n.yml file. So this is required by the INTL generator. So this should be inside the root package, right? So package root. So I'll just go and create a new file here and just paste the name. So we got that file name, and then we have to add this. So just copy this line of code and paste it over here. Okay, so we did not make it. I think we did not copy it. So just copy this file and this paste it over here. So that should be fine. Once we got that, so it will look for the following files. So lib l10n and the app_en.arb to auto generate the dart code every time you run the Flutter pub-get. So what we should do is the next step is to run this command. So let's go back and let's go to the terminal over here, and I guess I should clear the terminal over here. Flutter pub-get, I'll just run to initialize everything. And then I guess I get an error over here which says that the generating this package failed and the dir file is not found. So I guess that the folder is actually it's not found, so I need to generate this folder. Just copy it and I will just go and create a new folder and actually paste it, and then I'll just try to run this command again. And yeah, I think it's still not able to find because we need to have this particular file, right? So this is the file that we need to put in. So app_en.arp file. So currently we don't have that file. I guess it's not a problem because we need to generate using this code. So the next step, we'll go to the step 2, and just don't worry about the error for now, and later we are going to fix that one. So let's use the handy FTS feature. So this FTS command has the feature that we can actually generate or extract all of the strings from our project. So if you have a very large project and if you want to extract all of the English text, right, so the text from your application, you can actually go and run this command. So this will actually extract all of the string file to your translation file. So it should be extract and search and recursively, and it will place inside the dart file, right? So abstract hell, this is the command that you can run, and it tries to capture the string. So it will try to get all of the string find that is found inside your application by default creating a key base and a counter. So it will be placed inside this particular file. So let's go back and run that command, and it says, would you like to update the latest version? I'll just say no. Okay, so you can see that the string file has been again generated for us. So you can see that it has generated quite a few, but in your application, if your application is a really big application, and this is really helpful, it will help you to extract all of the string file. So this makes this plugin really useful and helpful, right? So otherwise we have to type manually all of this and find each of the text and place it over here. But it's really nice that this plugin has provided with the extract command that will help us to extract all of the text, right, from our application. That's really cool. And once we got that, and we can, like it says that in the counter app, it's really simple, we don't have so much of string, right? But in the actual application, you will have a very large scale the string files or the text file that you want to extract. So it's really helpful to run that command. So what we need to do is we need to clean up. So we cannot just send all of this, right? So we need to have a proper naming convention. So I will just go to something and paste it correctly. So what we need is, we don't need this R, it's, I don't know it's coming from where, and then let's say final, I don't need this, I think I don't need this one too, and increment, that should be fine, and toggle, all of this I don't need it too, right? So hard reload is already there, that should be flutter run, I'm not sure from where that's all coming. So I guess I will just keep it a few, and okay, so let's say this one I name it as a Flutter demo, or I can just keep as a Flutter app demo, I guess, app demo or something, right? So I'll just keep this one as a app title, app title, yeah, that's fine. And this one, just let's say hard reload, and this one let's say home page title or something, home page title. And you have pushed this button, So I guess that should be like GOU and counter push message, right? So counter push message is this one, and I think I can just put it this way, right? So we don't have to two line for that one. So I will just copy this one, and so you have pushed the button this many times, so I think I'll just paste it here. So this many time, and I think I can remove this, and I'll just say INCREME increment title or increment text. So we have cleanup, so as mentioned that we can clean up, and now it says that the configure the output file in our trconfig file. So what we need to do is we need to do the configuration, and we have to comment out, so we need to remove this from our current configuration. So the key ID and the output JSON file. So let's go to the tr configuration file, and I don't need to this one, so I can just comment out the JSON file. We are not using it anymore, and also we are not using the key ID. So where is that key ID? So I can comment out this one. So the key ID, we are not using it. And the next step is to we will not use the auto generated keys nor the JSON file this time, right? We'll be using until the expect this the internalization package expect the .arb file. So what we need to do is we need to put the output file. So I guess there is already here. So output file is already there or somewhere. Yeah. So this is the one that we need to uncomment it, output arb template, so lib10 and this pack. So I guess that is the one that we needed. And then I guess any other file. So the entry file is string.yml file. So string that currently we have a string.strings, right? So I've just strings strings. So make sure that this name match with that particular name. If you have a different, you rename it to different one, then you have to change it to a different one over here. And also let's take a look over here. So when we are done, it should look something like this. So the output template file is okay. So I need to have this. I didn't place it over there, right? So it should not be this one. So it should be this one. So a app underscore asterisk dot arb file. So output arb template file. So output arb template file, it should look this way. So the entry file is this one, the output pattern is asterisk, so you can see that this asterisk, okay, and the output dir. So we have, okay, let me just compare it. So output dir is this one, right? So IA18N, and then the translation ID t data, that's fine, and the US map is false, and the language code, okay, so that's fine, and the gzip that we have over here, and then we have a session. Okay, so that's look great. So we have everything done, and now you can run in the terminal. You can run the fts command again to output, and then it will be a little bit verbose, but the progress, it tries to synchronize the data, clearing some now, and you can see that the keys and the seed are creating new rows for the data we just defined in the string.yml file. So we need to run the command again. So fts run again. So that will generate all of the stuff for us, and let's hope that it goes well. And yeah, so now we have that item and file generated, and we also have the abb app underscore en, right? En file, I guess it has generated correctly. So if you can see that it is generating correctly, and then you have th, you have our Nepali, and you have our Japanese and the Spanish, and yeah, that's great. So let's go back and check out the translation file. Yeah, it's look great, and now we have a new one over here. So that's look cool, right? So the translation is generated, and now if I try to run my command, so let's say, and FTS, not the FTS I was running, field flutter pub pub get, I guess, yeah, flutter pub get, and I guess that should run correctly. Yeah, we don't have error because all of the file are generated now. So that's look cool, so we don't have any error. And then I think we are now ready to go for the translation, and so everything is done correctly. So now from the step 5 you can actually go and do the translation. So we can just go and copy this, and we need to import this, the flutter the localization and the flutter gen package, because if you go over here, it has generated in the dot tool, it has generated for us the flutter gen, and you can see that it has generated the L10N folder inside it, and here is all of the translation that actually is doing, right? So what we need to do is we'll just go inside our let's go to the main. Where is that particular main.dot file? And this is a simple and application, and we are not doing anything complex, just a counter application. And just I will import it, and just import this, and it's giving us an error, so let's just leave it there, and we'll try to do the localization, and just copy this, right? And then we can put it inside somewhere here, I guess. Let's put it on the top over there. So let me arrange it properly. I guess that should be fine. And yeah, I need this one to now arrange it properly. Okay, so that's look fine. And it is still giving us error because it's not able to find that. So I guess what I can do is just close everything, and I can go to the pub spec.yml file inside the flutter gen L10, and I try to amend this file, and yeah, now that is gone. So every time if you get that particular error, like the localization is it didn't find, or it was not able to import that, you can go to this file and just add a comment. So I added a one like a one, I just gave a one line extra line, and it was able to detect that file. So sometime when you run a flutter pubget or do some configuration change, it will not be able to detect it. So the best way to solve that problem is to go to this file and just add a one line, or just go back to the remove that particular line, just try to update this file, and you will be good to go. So that's the trick that you can do to actually recognize this file over here. So we have added this, and it's saying that what we can do is let's do the quick fix over here, because we are getting the, I guess we are getting the, okay, so const modifier. Okay, so that's good. And also I think we have some useful I think we have some useful class generated over here inside this, I guess not this file. So it has some useful the class generated for us. We can actually get the list of the local supported by system. So all of those are added over here. You can see that it has a local, and it's really useful package, not the package, it's a really useful class over here that is generated by the particular package itself. So this was generated by for us by that particular flutter translation sheet package. So that class is really helpful, so we can actually use that one. So let me show you how to use it actually. So it has some, I guess they have the way to add that one. Yeah, steps FTS code utilities. So it has generated some utility class for us that we can actually use it. So I can use the app local that supported locals instead of manually specifying the language that we are using. So I can just remove all of this stuff and app local, and app local dot the I think supported locals, so it will get the list of the locals, right? So all of the locals are added over here, so we don't have to worry about adding it manually over here. And also there are other things that we can use, the local. So I guess local is coming from somewhere, but they haven't mentioned it, right? So let's try to get it the local manually. So I guess I can get it from the app local. So local and app local dot, I guess I can get the let's do the Nepalese first, and dot the, can I get it? So I, is it getting it's getting this file, so langvo, that me, I don't need that. I need a local, right? So I can get the local from here. So actually you can see that it has a lot of other options for us, like you can get English name, you can get a flag, you can get a key, you can get a local, you can get a native name. So I need, because this returns a local and I need to provide a local over here. So I guess that's the thing that we can actually use it now. And the next is we can actually go and, yeah, I think that's all. So yeah, we don't have any other things that we can make use from here, any other thing that we have to set up. So I guess no, right? So yeah, so let's go, and I need to get the I need to get what, let's go and see anything if I'm missing. So I think that should be fine. So I think I can copy this line of code, and let's go to the main dot file, and let me remove all of this comment from here. And I'm not going to use these comments, and so let's remove all of this. Okay, so it's too much of the comment over here. Okay, so I will just add it just in the build context over here, and I will get the local LOC, and then now we can use that LOC to get all of our files. So text over here, and I can just go and get this one, and I will just say LOC dot, I get the increment title. So increment title, no, it's not the one. Homepage title, no. So what was that? I totally forgot it. So I think it's the increment title, right? And then I think let's arrange in the single line. I can remove this const from here because I cannot put the const over there. Okay, and then the next one is to the counter is there. So counter is over there, and yeah, increment tooltip is the increment. So I can also use this one and change it to something like dot the LOC dot and the increment that we have, right? So I guess this increment title, yeah. And then any other thing that we can change over here. So let us try to pass in over the title. So title would be the, I don't have that. Do I have? Okay, so I again need to get this one, and I'll go and paste it on the top over here. Now I have LOC and I can get it. I guess I'm able to get it. LOC dot, I will get the app title. Yeah, let's get the app title. I can remove the const from here. Let us run our application now. Let us wait for the launch to complete. It's going to take a bit time to launch our application. So hold on. Aha, finally we get an error. So the null check operator used as a null value, right? So I guess we are not able to get it inside this build context. So what we will do is we will just remove this over here, and then we will also remove the title from here. Just remove this, and that should be good to go. And I'll just save it as a const over here, and then we have a title Do we have a title somewhere? Yeah, I think app bar, and the app title, I guess the app title. Let's use the title over here. So I can use the loc dot the app title over here. And okay, so it will use a text, right? So I have to make use of a text, and then okay, I think that should be fine. And let's try to rebuild the application. Are we good to go? Where is my application? Yeah, okay, so now you can see that we got their particular number, right? And if you want to change it to the English or some different, you can just go to here and change it to, let's say, a th. And sorry, not that one, it should be th over here, and the local, and just rebuild your application. Okay, where is my application again? Okay, so now you can see we got a Thai language over there. And now if I change it to the this one should be English, and just run it one more time. Okay, so where is my application, right? So I have to put it here. Okay, now we get an increment. Okay, so that's the increment. Okay, so okay guys, so that was not the increment. So what we need to do is, where is that increment title? So it's not the one that we need. Dot the message, I guess. Where is that message? I can find the message, man. So do you find any message? I guess I have put a message somewhere. So let's go and see the translation file. Yeah, translation file to counter push message, right? So it should be of loc counter push message. Okay, so I got it, and now I can actually provide this particular counter over there. So let's copy this and paste it inside this counter. Okay, so let's try to run it one more time. Yeah, that's running good, so we get that one. So that was the quite a mistake I made, I guess. So it should be of let's try it on the th, just run it, and yeah, so now we get that one. And let's do it on my own language. That should be of Nepalese, so ne, just run it. And okay, tapaile yo button 00 I cannot read it, it's too small for me to actually read that one. Okay, and we are not actually getting that increment, so I guess there is some mistake, but I guess you got the idea. So how we can actually use this translation file. So it was a quite long lecture, and we did a lot of stuff, and I hope you guys learn about how to integrate this particular package. This package is really cool, and you can still go and read some of the documentation. Reading the documentation is really helpful, and you can also do some kind of the plural translation, right? If you need to do the plural translation over there. And yeah, that's good. So you can also do it with integrate with the getx, but I haven't used getx as before, and I haven't integrated with the getx. Seriously, I think that is too much heavier to integrate a getx inside the application, because it's just another framework, right? It's just Flutter is a framework, and you put a getx on top of Flutter. That's you have two framework running together. So I don't usually use a getx because of that. And but you can go and try to integrate it. So if you are using getx, right, so it's, I don't call it as state management or any other stuff. getx is basically, I guess, it's a framework. So Flutter is a framework, and on top of the Flutter you having another framework that is a getx. You can just click through this and go to documentation, and you can integrate it. So that's up to you, and I hope we learn a lot of stuff, and let's meet up in the next lecture. Till then, have a great day, guys.